So today I'm going to head over to my aunt's house. We're going to take the Black Diamond log splitter. We're going to go over there, try to bust up some wood today. So all this wood back here is elm from an elm tree that she had fall down. And so she lives like in the middle of a field. And this elm tree was like, you know, really big elm tree, because she lives like in an old farmhouse in the middle of a field. And that thing was probably 70 feet tall. And so this is all wood from the limbs of the tree. So we've got the trunk of the tree left, and so some of them rounds are pretty good size. So we're going to take the Black Diamond log splitter down there. We're going to try to bust them rounds up because they were so big I could not load them into the trailer. They were pretty much too big to two-man lift and put into a trailer. So we're going to try to use the log splitter, bust them into smaller pieces so we can get the wood loaded up and brought up here to the homestead. So the pieces of wood that we have today are probably going to give this log splitter a pretty good test run today, because I think they're probably about 30 inches in diameter, maybe more, and we'll see if this log splitter can bust them up. So I'll take a tape measure with me. I'll see if I can actually see how big some of these rounds are, but I think it's going to be a good test for the log splitter today. So we got the majority of that wood all split up. There is still probably, you know, 6 or 8 rounds of wood that still need to split up there, but we ended up, we got it all, the majority of it split. So this is 2 loads with our trailer of wood that we split with that splitter. So that wood splitter was able to get it split up, no problem. All we did was pretty much, we just pretty much split these into sizes that we could carry and throw onto, you know, the trailer and just bring them home. So a lot of these are pretty big size chunks of wood. So we'll just get the wood splitter out again, and we'll run these through the wood splitter again, except in the horizontal mode, and actually cut them down to the final dimension, you know, the size that we want for our fireplace, and then we'll get them stacked here in the woodshed. So that log splitter, my wife went with me to help, and then my uncle, he ended up coming out to help as well. And those rounds were just huge, really hard to move around. And the biggest one we busted was 33 inches in diameter, and it's 16 inches thick. But the log splitter split it just fine. It split everything that we actually put through it. There was some that were like, had some big knots and limbs that were inside of the tree, you know, pretty gnarled up, and we really had to fight those. In fact, some of them it just wouldn't split. You'd about just kind of tear right through it, but the log splitter would end up going through it, so it did its job. So the biggest problem with the rounds that big is that they're just so dang heavy. You can't move them around by yourself, so then your two people are trying to wrestle it. And the back of that log splitter that's sitting on the ground, the base plate that it's driving against to split the wood, that base plate, by the time you look at the total thickness of that base plate, it ends up being 2 inches thick, and that ends up kind of making that log ride up there, and it kind of catches on there, and it's really hard for you to manipulate the round of wood and try to slide it into place, just because of the unevenness and everything. So that's probably the hardest part when you're splitting those big rounds. You're in that horizontal mode, is you just can't, it's not easy to move those rounds and get them into place, especially one that big. But overall, the log splitter split everything that we gave it, and pretty happy with the results. I don't know if you can tell, but that's a pretty good size elm tree. All that wood that's stacked back here, that's all from that tree. There's some wood that's already split back here that's from the tree. We have these 2 loads that we brought home with the trailer from that tree. There's still probably 2 loads that's already split sitting on the ground there for us to just load up and bring here. Plus, I haven't cut the entire trunk up all the way either, so there's still more of the trunk to cut up and split, and there's probably at least another couple loads there. So besides what you see here behind me, there's probably still at least another 4 loads of wood that I need to bring here. So that's a lot of wood from one tree. That thing, I'm not 100% sure how tall it was. I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being close to 80 feet tall, that tree. It was a big old tree. So anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.